always exciting to get on and get to talk with everybody. I just want to kick off this show by introducing myself very quickly. I know that we want to give plenty of time to our guest to talk about her story. So I'm just want to tell you that I'm Sarah M. I grew up in Cambodia, and my life started out beautiful. But when I get to attend college, my life was turned upside down, inside out, and because the communist Khmer Rouge came in and they pretty much destroyed us, destroyed our country, and I struggled, try to survive for 4 horrible years. But thank goodness I'm still alive to tell. I'm alive to tell the story that yes, we can make it. Sometimes it's almost impossible, but it's possible. So just want to give everybody hope. Never, never give up. The many of my campmates, the prisoner of war that was in the same camp, many of them gave up. So once you gave up, there's no hope. So yeah, for me, I survived, and not only that, I escaped and then get out from the country. So that's why I'm here. I'm so grateful, and I'm so appreciate all the people that helped me start my new life. So that's all I want to say. And I have a book which I cannot find. It's on my website, sarahim.com. And let's see what else. Okay, now I also a speaker. So if you ever know somebody who look for an inspirational speaker, just reach out to us, either to myself or to Lee. You can find us on our website, sarahim.com and leetran.com.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for a beautiful introduction. And as always, we always have guests who can come in and share their resilient story and their thriving story with us. And that's why we are here for the past almost a year. I mean, in 2 more days, that's making us 1 year anniversary of having this conversation, and it's still ongoing. And my story is a little different, but very similar to what Sarah went through. I also came from a refugee background, except I was from Cambodia. I was from Vietnam. I was born in Vietnam and left the country in 1979 as people who run away from the communist regime. So what we did is going through a lot of trying, and tribulation. We got through the refugee camp and been there in Indonesia for 8 months after pirates and after, near death several times in the sea. We also thank God that who gave us a second chance to be enjoying our fruitful life, and that was 41 years ago. I also did tell my story in the memoir of my book 6 months ago. So if you have not know me, or if you'd like to get to know me a little further, I invite you to read my book, I Did Not Miss the Boat. And you can order that either through Amazon or on my website if you want a personal autograph on my website. And what happened here is we're always looking for resilient stories. And this month is the month of resilience. And I have to say that without God giving us the strength, we cannot be resilient, no matter how much we want to. So it is, after all, there's a superior forces out there. If you're not a God believer, you think it's the universe, if you think, if you're a different religion, that's fine. But for me, I call it God, and you can call it anything you want. But there is a superior force out there. And today we are so happy to have April with us. And I think April have a very juicy story also to tell us that how how she can get her resilient with strength that she's drawing from to get where she is today, and not just to be independent, getting up every time, but now she's actually helping others to thrive. So, April, welcome to our conversation. So, if you
Thank you.
could introduce yourself with us and to our audience, please.
Okay, so my name's April Doucette, and I live in I live on PEI, Canada. I live in Canada. I am a resilience life coach,
Love
Christian
it.
life coach, yeah,
Love it.
for women. Um,
Work with
so
women.
I don't know how much of my story you want to know.
Oh, give us a
So
summary. Give us a 5-10 minute summary.
so what I'll do is I'm going to talk about 2012 and then 2018 and now. Just so you can kind of keep track a little bit better. So in 2012, actually, let's just go back to when I was born for a minute. So I'm born with spina bifida, and so is my brother. We're both in wheelchairs. Um, I will be 33 in April, and
Happy early birthday.
thank you. And so, yeah, when my mom was pregnant for me, the doctor had told her that I would likely not live because I had apparently tumors or something on my brain. Anyways, so he wanted her to terminate the pregnancy. Yeah, she didn't. I'm okay. It turned out like there was nothing, so that's all good. Um, I do have spina bifida, like I said. My brother does too. When my brother was born, actually, when my mom was pregnant for my brother, um, they had told her that my brother might also be born with spina bifida, but not to worry because it happens like 1 in 1,000 that siblings are born with this, right? So she was like, okay, whatever. He was supposed to call her, let's say Friday or whatever, and it was like Wednesday. Okay, so she knew by this point, she knew that my brother would also be born with spina bifida. Same thing, he wanted her to abort him.
What's the
She
illness
didn't.
again? I'm a little muffled. I can't hear it. Can you say the word?
Spina bifida?
Oh, spina bifida. Oh my God, my friend Anne have exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So there's two of us, right? Um, so with that comes surgeries and stuff like that. Like we've had a lot of stuff. Anyway, by 2012, I had an infection that had gone through my body into my bloodstream. I was in ICU for a week, and I was just on like medical for 2 weeks, something like that. Anyways, while I was in the hospital, I was in isolation because I had MRSA as well, and with all of that going on, I developed anxiety with the whole thing. Like I for 3 days, there was 3 days where I just did not want to look outside, so I had the blinds closed, and
How
my
old were you
my
then?
hmm?
How old were you then?
2012, I
Okay.
would have, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah. Um, the nurse came in and she opens the curtains, right? and I pretty much have a panic attack. Like it just, I didn't want to. So I would constantly ask to be medicated. I couldn't handle it, the anxiety and everything. That went on, like I said, for 3 days. Then I prayed to God to take this away from me. I told him if he took it away from me, I would follow him, I would do his work, all of this stuff. Not actually sure what I was getting myself into, right? So I bought a Bible, went back to church, like all of these things. Like I was, you know, I really,
You
I
kept
did
your promise.
I kept my promise,
Yeah.
but the anxiety kept going for
Mm.
7.5 years.
Wow.
2018 happens. I get married. 2 months later, I have to ask my husband to leave because he was. It was bad. He was controlling and all that stuff, and I couldn't handle it. And so I was afraid for myself because he was bigger than me. And not that he would hurt me, like I didn't think so, but just it was really bad. So he left, no problems. Like he left, got divorced. That was rough. And then I thought that was going to be like the worst thing that ever happened. Then I end up in 2019 needing my kidney removed. Yeah. I was supposed to be in the hospital for a week. 78 days later, I get out of the hospital. Yeah. And get out of the hospital. I had been in 2 hospitals by this point. So I had gone to a hospital 4 hours away. And then I was in my home hospital for 2 weeks. What had happened was they took the kidney out, like the kidney needed to come out. I had an infection that had gone into my bloodstream again.
Wow.
I have a shunt. Okay, so they wanted to take it out from where it was and put it somewhere else so that it wouldn't be affected by the infection and go to my brain. Anyways, they did the surgery, found out that my shunt was actually broken. So,
Oh gosh.
so with that surgery,
Wow.
I suffered a brain bleed.
Oh my
And
God.
that's actually why I was in the hospital for so long.
You poor woman. I mean, golly, one after the other.
And that was like people were coming to me like for different things like anxiety and stuff. I had no more anxiety after this point. Like this experience like took away my anxiety because once I realized like I had gone through a divorce, I had gone through losing my kidney,
Oh
brain
my
bleed,
God.
like
Yeah. By that time, you've become
obviously
a master.
there are details I'm leaving out.
Yeah.
But basically I started coaching for anxiety. I had no more anxiety.
Wow.
What happens now, like where we're at today, I've actually realized that it's not so much anxiety that women are coming to me for as much as like, what do you do when life happens and you can't get back up? So like whether it's anxiety, whether it's divorce, like I've been there, health problems.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, my mom has cancer. Like it's like we get it, right?
Yeah.
What do? You have to get back up. You have no choice, right? I mean, you have a choice, but not really, because
How did
so
you know when you turn around? I mean, when is that aha moment just kind of switch from one to the other?
okay, I missed a part. Um, what happened was when I was in the hospital, um, there was a day where I did get really, really nervous. I really had a lot of anxiety, and I had asked the hospital chaplain if I was dying and all this stuff. And he was saying, like, you're ready to die if it is your time and all of this stuff. Like, you're going to be okay. And, you know, trying to console me, right?
Yeah.
And so I was convinced I was dying. So I told my mom, like, it's okay, I'm going. And, like, I had peace about it until I saw my mom's face. My mom, I never want to see my mom go through that again. Like, I don't want to ever see that face like that again. That was like the moment where it was like, okay, I got to get back up. I've gotten back up my whole life, right?
Yeah.
I went through divorce. I'm not supposed to even be here, right? I'm like, they were saying that I was going to be born with like tumors and right. So
I don't think it's up to us, right? It's up to him.
yeah, right. So I got back up, and it was like literally from I thought I was dying to like, no, I'm not going to. I'm not dying today. I'm not dying tomorrow. Like, I'm going to get out of this hospital.
What a comeback. You picking up the shield and say that I am gonna, like not gonna let that happen to my mind. And I think sometimes it is so true when you are feeling a determination of something that is not gonna, it's like either way, you surrender. Either God's gonna call you or you're gonna come back. One way or the other. You're not gonna moving around and deteriorate your life from a mental standpoint. So that is so admirable. That is so admirable.
Yeah. So let me ask you, at the very low point, what are you grabbing the whole of to pick yourself up? What was it?
Jesus. And it's so funny because in 2012, when I prayed that first prayer, I didn't really, I had been to church and things like I knew about Jesus. I like, but it wasn't really, I was 24 years old before I realized that there's a Old and New Gospel or Old and New Testament. Like I didn't have the concept of all of that, right?
Yeah.
So 24 years old, yeah.
Wow.
What a great story. What a great story. How's your health so far? I mean,
My health, it's different now.
it's stabilized at least. It's not going to give you that sine wave of ups and down, ups and down.
It's still a struggle, but I'm definitely not where I was in 2019. So
I think the peaceful minds, that's what get you easier on coping with all this thing, because anxiety can sometimes just push you to a place that it seems like it worse than it could be. I mean, our state of mind is like very tricky. I mean, if I know the same. I mean, if I have a little pain, if I think about it too much, it amplifies to a bigger pain. But if I'm just saying that I'm going to focus on something else, which what you are doing, you're focusing on helping other people and focus on the force behind you, which is God and Jesus. So you tend to minimize what you're physically feeling.
And I mean, we all have those moments. Like, I'm still myself. Like, I'll still worry about, like, if I get certain pains in my back or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's there, right? But
That's human nature, right?
yeah.
But so when did you start to use your gift and use it as a coach and help other people? Like, you know, it is really tough to even just stabilize your own mind, and now you're actually stepping out of your extra step to help other people.
My coaching journey is actually kind of a journey in itself. So if we go back to 2018, when I went through my separation, all of that, I was at a very low point. Okay, I was. It was an interesting time, and I needed help, and so I have a history, like I have a background in human services, and I also I took addiction counseling in school and stuff. Anyway, I approached one of my professors in college, and he actually was a coach, and so he's the one that actually introduced it to me, because I actually went through the process. Right? So I actually saw that coaching is not like counseling. Coaching is like exactly what I needed. Like, I needed to be in charge. I needed to be like, not in charge, but like in the battle with it.
Yeah.
And to get back up. And that so like I said, I fell in love with coaching.
I totally can relate, because I am going through a certification of coaching also, which I resisted for a long time. And I didn't understand the coaching and the counseling and the mentoring and so you kind of like thinking that differently. Coach is really interesting, and I can see that why people can do really well and do not have to be expert in that field to be a coach. You're just pretty much a guide, a partner that helping the person to go wherever they want to go, meet them where they are. So this is so wonderful, and oh gosh, this is perseverance. This
and
is
really,
definitely
to add to that, being a Christian coach, I'm leading I'm leading women to Jesus. Jesus is the one that's actually doing the work. Right? Yeah.
So how did you start telling people that your journey have led you to be somebody who want to help other people to get out of their own anxiety? I mean, was it difficult to find
I kind of
clients?
fell into it. So if I go back to 2018, when I started as a coach, I had no direction whatsoever, right? Then COVID hit, and I had no anxiety at this point, right? Because it was gone, and people were approaching me that had anxiety. So I kind of fell into that, like, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized, actually, it's not even so much anxiety that people are coming to me, that women are coming to me for. It's actually like, how do you get back up? Right? Some of it is anxiety, but some of it is like, you know, other people have had health issues that they've needed me to encourage them. divorce,
Yeah.
like all sorts of different things, right? It
Do
wasn't just
you
anxiety.
do you have a method or system or somehow to help people? Like if our audience are listening here, what are the great few tips that you can offer to them?
So for me, it's all about joy.
Mm,
Okay, and I'll explain. Jesus, others, yourself,
mm-hmm.
right? It's I know we usually use it like in other ways, but yeah, really that's what it comes down to is Jesus. You want to like ideally if you can or if you're comfortable, a coach is a good thing to have. Like for anybody, even coaches, like we should have one.
Yeah.
Community and yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything comes from Jesus. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
That said, he does give people to us, like to help us in our journey. And he does offer us strength, right? So that's why like for me, the whole joy thing, it's the more practical way really of explaining it to people because it can be very, very confusing.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's so great. I love the acronym. I think it just makes perfect sense.
You want it to be simple. Like
Yeah.
when people are coming to you for coaching,
Mm-hmm.
um, you don't want it to be complicated
Mm-hmm.
because people, our attention span is not really great anymore,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, it's a long process. It's not a quick fix,
Mm-hmm.
but it's simple.
But it works. I'm looking at it, and I was like, if you surrender, you thinking about, you're not in control. I mean, you're in control, but you're not in control in a sense. You can only control what you can do, and you let the rest. You lift it up to God, to Jesus. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you don't think about yourself, you think about the community, you think about how you serve other people, you forget a little bit about your own pain, then you can go further. And then the last is take care of yourself. It's like, I just love it. I just love
And
the
it's
acronym.
so, it's so funny because when you say that, like the 10, like I'll call them steps, okay? But people are not going to necessarily, like, it's not like where you have to go through them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people are not going to need certain steps as long,
Right.
right? So I start with rise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the reason we start with rise is just a decision, right? You don't actually have to know how to rise. You just have to choose to.
Sure.
Okay? And then you accept. So you accept what was, what is, and what will be, and how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you lean on your community, your people, Jesus,
Yeah.
And the strengths that he gave you. And then you have to go through it, right? You
Yeah.
have to, like, to get to Sunday, you need a Friday.
Yep.
Like, it's,
That's
you
no
need
way
it.
to go around it.
Yeah, right? So you need to go through it.
Yeah.
Then after you go through it, you want to regroup, rescript, and rebuild,
That's just awesome.
right?
Yeah.
And then like you said, you want to share and serve.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Awesome.
It sounds easy, but it's really,
Well, it's a daily practice because
yeah.
sometimes you can detract, you can be distracted with things, and you forget your focus. But I think with a method, sometimes a simple method, it's easy to remember. Still, you need to be mindful of that method in order to cling on it, to be able to.
And One more thing that I just want to add.
Mm-hmm.
If when you start with rise and you end with service, you see why you're rising.
Yeah.
You're not rising for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're rising for other people you're bringing with you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I think, we need more of those mindset out there, because sometimes people get panic and people forget to hold control of what is in process in here, because what's in here is creating all the illusions and all the reality that whatever it's telling you. So yeah, I really appreciate that, and I'm so happy to see that you are no more anxiety. And
I went through a lot of counseling as well. With that, I had a Christian counselor and like a faith-based counselor, and she actually. It's funny that you talk about our thoughts, because she, like, when I would have anxiety, she would say, okay, what's the thought, how does it make you feel, and are you reacting or acting?
right,
You
yeah,
want to act, you don't want to be reacting.
right,
Mhm.
yeah. Some people call it how do you respond, like instead
Yeah.
of react, or you how do you respond to it.
Yeah,
But
But
this,
you want to act, you don't want to
right,
react.
yeah. Be
right,
proactive. That's
exactly.
somebody say proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's just awesome. So you do group coaching too, or you do mostly individual?
I right now I'm just getting like really established right now, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not actually doing group coaching. I've I've been coaching one person on a more regular basis. I
Mm-hmm.
have helped other people, other women, just kind of getting into it. Like I said,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
No, this
it's
is
been kind
great
of
because
hard on
now you're
me as well.
focusing on other people instead of your own pain, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. So that's so awesome. But I think the resilience is just impeccable. I mean, the way that you just keep getting up time
Hmm.
after time.
And
yeah.
it's so
Um,
funny because this actually came about. I was talking with a friend, and I was telling her, like, my business is not working, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. Like
mhm.
I have a client, but not a whole lot, right? So I was like, okay, what is going on? And we were talking, and she actually said, like, you actually keep getting back up, and that's what people are coming to you for. So
Yeah,
like shift your business a little bit,
right.
Mm.
right?
And you gotta start from somewhere, right?
Yeah,
This is somewhere.
exactly. It's a process.
It is, it is, and you keep fine tuning it, and I think eventually that one person is gonna go out and tell three, and that three is gonna tell three more, so it'd be nine. That's how people started. I mean, Rome is not built in one day, so
No, but it wasn't even that. It was just like my heart wasn't even really in it fully, or like it wasn't that it wasn't. It was just not really where I wanted to go yet,
hmm,
and I couldn't figure out why.
yeah,
I didn't know what was missing.
right.
So yeah.
So, well, I guess eventually, um, you can't figure it out unless you dip your toes in there. And that's how I always think,
Hmm.
if you know you like it or you don't like it, the only way to do it is to try it. And if you try it,
Yeah.
you don't like it, you can always spit it out and go try something else.
And the best thing is, like, when you're coaching something that
Hmm.
you've done yourself,
Yeah,
it's much more natural.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have experience, you have confidence, you know that it's working, so nobody
Hmm.
challenge you. So
yeah,
that's build confidence. Whatever God put you through, is to help you build that muscle. so
Yeah,
so that muscle is working and you can help other people.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, that's just awesome.
And it's so funny because we always want the muscle, but
Mm.
we don't want to go through what it takes to
The
get the
pain
muscle.
of building it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't run a marathon unless you keep training yourself. Or yeah, build that muscle. You're gonna have to keep weightlifting. But thank you so much for sharing your journey and how do you keep getting up and keep fighting back. And if anybody knows, Sarah and I would be completely understand. We've been knocking down many times and we keep resilient, getting back up. Do a little praying, do a little working, and then get up again. Do a little praying, do a little, working, and get up again. And that's how we are.
Resilience brought us together
Yes,
today.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if people want to find you, how do they find you?
So I am in the middle of I'm in the middle of rebranding my website,
Okay.
but it is I think you have it linked on your
Yeah,
page.
yeah. We have a
Um,
website link.
Yeah, I think we link to your personal profile.
okay.
Yeah, Facebook. So if anybody want to reach out to April, please feel free to do that in our group. And if you're not in our group, we hope you join us. So we do have guests on every Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and you get to hear lots of wonderful, incredible stories. People been through the things that you can't imagine and they get up back up and they make a difference in the world and now they want to help other people to make an impact as well. So thank you, April. I think our time has been concluded because we went over time, but it's such a joy to talk to you and to meet you.
It was so nice meeting you guys.